One of the biggest myths in trading is that there are low probability trading days, as if somebody can just look at a calendar and tell you which days for certain that you will perform poorly on. That is nonsense. Guys, come on, you're not that naive. Let's be real for a second, just me and you, and we're going to break this down. How on earth could you possibly believe that you have any idea of what days are going to be good or bad and how that even affects your performance? Those are metrics that you measure against something. Good compared to what? Bad compared to what? Every other day? So does that mean that days that are not low probability, you're somehow guaranteed to do well? No. The only thing you can control is your actions. And if you can't sit in front of your chart on a supposed low probability day, like what are you talking about? You're just going to assume that by not being at the market, you know so much that this day is not going to work in your favor? That is naive. That is naive, and you're honestly depriving yourself of the opportunity to potentially execute on your edge, because at the end of the day, we don't trade the date. We trade the chart. So if there's a daily setup, for example, to get a little bit specific, you're going to tell me that if there's high impact news looming in the distance, that it's somehow a low probability day? So then what happens if the move happens? Is it still low probability, or is it high probability all of a sudden? This stuff is nonsense, and people perpetuate these myths to seem mysterious and have this aura to them. Anybody who's been trading for any amount of time can tell you that the markets will continue to surprise you. Do you really think, let me ask you this, when everybody was trading in the pit, do you think people who were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to be there were saying, oh no, sorry guys, calling off work, low probability day, I saw it on Twitter. Insanity. You think hedge funds shut down for a day? Oh, low probability. What are you so worried about? You're worried that you're going to waste an hour of your day to look at a chart to see that if maybe on some chance that there might be a level in play, maybe there's your indicator that gives you an entry signal, and maybe there's 10 points on ES that you could scalp. Or is that too impossible to imagine? Like, you really have to understand, where is a lot of this stuff coming from? People say these things because it sounds interesting. It sounds like, wow, that's so crazy. You know when the market's going to be low probability? All we know is this. We know that there are variables that make the market less likely to give you a favorable move. Not just one thing, not two, but when you have a list of things, that's when you can decide as an individual to not take a trade. It's not based on, oh, there's a calendar day I can't trade. There has been moves that have happened the day before CPI, the morning of FOMC, like that you wouldn't believe, that were perfectly fine, as if there was no news coming. I've seen it over and over. It does not happen every time, and that's why you have to be aware of news. But for you to sit there and stand on some high horse and say, oh, there's just low probability days. Okay, have fun trading 3 days of the year. There's a difference between deciding to take a trade every single time you see an entry, every single session, every single day. That's one thing. But it doesn't kill you to look at the chart. You could pull up, sit down, maybe you stand at your desk, right, for an hour. Is it really going to hurt you? I mean, you guys see me do it all the time on stream. Today, did I see anything in the market that I really liked? Not really. I didn't really see any entry I liked. But am I going to sit here and be like, oh no, I get to sleep in. It's a low probability day. No, just get up and get the reps in. It's not going to kill you to look at the chart. So for you to sit there and think low probability days are a thing, it is honestly depriving you of such a valuable lesson when it comes to reading price action. By sitting through sessions that might be choppy, you'll know when they're going to be choppy. I came into today expecting today to be choppy because of a rule-based system. I'm looking at multiple elements of criteria. This is all stuff that I broke down on my live stream. I posted the recording earlier today. Go ahead, check it out. I'll link it probably somewhere in here. I stream every day in the Discord. I'm doing it live. Check it out. There's a link to join for free. But the point is, you see me walk through this process, and I didn't get to the ability to understand when it's going to be low probability by not showing up. I watch the charts. You watch them. Don't waste your time. Like, If you think you're going to get to the highest level, I mean, honestly, imagine this was a different scenario where you're going in and you're trading at some sort of real prop firm out in New York, out in Chicago. You think you're just going to call them and be like, sorry guys, it's a low probability day. You're going to be out of the office because you're going to be out of a job if you keep up that kind of mindset. It's not going to work. So for retail traders to have this audacity to be like, I can't do anything on this day. You can't do anything? You can't watch a market? You can't look at a different market? Are you really that incapable? You can't look at anything other than, oh no, it's not perfect. When is the market ever promised to be perfect? You're deluding yourself. It's not mysterious to do nothing. You're just not doing anything. Not being able to explain something and just label it as low probability tells me you have a very shallow understanding of what you're looking at. There are things that will make the day low probability, but to ultimately outwardly avoid something completely, you're wasting your time. You can simply sit through a session. Display the patience. Is that terrible? Is that asking too much to embody good habits as a trader? Or no, you only have to show up on the picture perfect days because you're unable to control yourself like an actual adult? You got to have that real conversation with yourself. Why are you so afraid of these supposed low probability days? You don't know what a good entry looks like? If you don't see an entry, you just don't take it. I mean, is someone making you click the mouse? Is someone making you blow the funded accounts? I just don't see where that's a valid point. So to continue to say that, I mean, I get it. It's one thing when you're introduced to stuff. You say, you know what? There might be some merit to that. Let me try it on for size. But I can sit here and tell you that there's really no benefit to outwardly avoiding anything. You can build a habit to go and sit through the open. It's one thing if you want to make a comparison to, fitness or working out. People who say, oh, I don't feel the best or whatever, I'm sore. And then they just skip the gym thinking that that's doing something for them. The only thing you're doing is building a habit of not going to the gym. If you want to be consistent, you want to be in shape, it's better to go and do very little than to not go at all. Because if you build the habit of not going at all, you're going to develop a certain laziness or certain apathy. And the same thing happens when you're looking at these charts. Oh, it's a low probability day. Or maybe your eyes are untrained and you can't see what's right in front of your face. You have to look at this for what it is. You get better through experience. You don't get better through standing on some sort of supposed high ground and acting like you know better than everybody. Everybody sees the same charts as you. You're not mysterious by saying, what do you see? I don't know. What do you see? You got to explain what you're looking at. Explain your reasoning. Say, oh, I think this is low probability because. That's the whole point of social media. If I just sit here and talk about how much secret stuff I know, what does that do for you? It makes you think, oh, wow, this guy's so cool. No, if I think a day is low probability and I'm going to make a statement on it, I should explain why. That's the point of social media. So do not get confused when somebody is trying to tell you something that you should not trade this or that. It's just doing you harm. You need to see it for yourself. You need to look at these sessions and you need to understand that by looking at the charts more, you'll be able to determine when it makes sense for you. Because maybe market conditions are perfect for me, but then you trade that same day and then you lose money. Is that low probability then? It makes no sense. Is it only high probability if it moves very easy? What about the 15 ticks, the tick chart scalpers? 500 tick chart scalpers, is it low probability for them? Or does it maybe not fit the criteria that they look for? You can't label things black and white in trading. It's not that simple. Do not confuse yourself. If you think it's really that simple, you need to find a different industry because trading is very, very, very nuanced. It all depends on you. You are your edge. And I will leave you with that. When markets are not aligned with you, then you can simply choose to not trade it. But to simply label something as low probability, you're doing yourself and everybody around you a disservice. So if you enjoy these types of videos, leave a like, share this with somebody who doesn't trade half the year. And until next time, take care.